moment with Rachel.
Hello.
Hello, Rachel.
Morning. So this morning on Midweek Moment, I thought, let's do story time. Who doesn't love story time, right? Well, you can actually read the real account, the full account, not the Rachel version of it, in Luke 24, verse 13. And it's actually absolutely incredible. I actually love the story because it's the crucifixion has just taken place, the resurrection as well. And what does Jesus do? So the grave is empty, he's risen. And what does he do? He decides to go on, well, he doesn't decide, but he goes on this 7 mile walk, right? And he walks on the road to Emmaus. And while journeying on the road to Emmaus, he meets these two men. And he sees them, they look downcast, they look really overwhelmed. They basically look like they're hopeless. They look really, really in a place where they've completely given up hope. And Jesus, just being Jesus, he sees these two guys and he's like, hey, so like what's happening? And I love that because he sees these guys and he asks them like what's happening, and these guys are so shocked. And then they say to him, are you the only one from Jerusalem that has no idea what has happened the last few days? And then Jesus is like, sure, why, what happened? And for me that is so interesting because whatever happened the last few days was about Jesus. And here's Jesus asking the guys or saying to them, tell me what happened to me, like, wow, what went down? And that's just once again a reminder of who he is because he takes the time to hear what we have to say, even though he knows exactly what's going on in our lives. He takes that time. So the guys start sharing with him and they start telling him that, we thought that Jesus was going to come save the day, the way things are going to change. It's going to be his kingdom will be here on earth. And I mean, the whole time we know the disciples were always fighting about who would be the right hand, who would be the first person in the kingdom, who would be, they'll always be fighting because they always assumed that the kingdom would be here on earth. And but they didn't. Well, they weren't focused on the eternal picture. And here, these guys are telling Jesus about exactly what or how they felt things were going to go down, and he just allows them to speak, and he journeys with them on the road. Eventually, he gets to their home or is about to go past one of the guys' home, and the man says to him, hey, this is my house. Come in and just come and have supper with me. And Jesus, being him, who absolutely loves us to invite him in or for things, he turns around and he says, yeah, sure, let me join you. And I love that part as well because he's always waiting for us to invite him in. And here he is sitting with the guy with these two men, and at that moment, as he breaks the bread, their eyes are then open and they see it is Jesus. And the one guy says, were our hearts not burning within us? Did we not know that we were walking with him the whole time? He was with us. How did we miss this? And at that very moment, he disappears, he goes away. And I love that because bringing it back to where we are right now. And, like we said, we're on the last Wednesday for the month of October. We 11 months into, well, we're 10 months into the year already. We're going to be 11 months. Next Wednesday, it's the 1st of November. Maybe you feel right now that this year isn't the way you planned it to be. You also feel like the disciples, you're like, I didn't think it's going to go this way. I thought I would be further in my career, maybe, or in my family life. My kids would be further better off, or my marriage or relationship, or really whatever you find yourself. Maybe it's not the way you pictured it to be. And you're also feeling a little bit overwhelmed and you're wondering, why? What happened? But I want to encourage you, just like how Jesus walked on the road to Emmaus with the guys, listening to what they had to say, just allowing them to unpack exactly how they felt and exactly where they felt or thought things were going to be. Things did not turn out the way they planned it to be, but things turned out amazingly according to God's plan. And that's a reminder that I want to just encourage you with, that even though things may not be going the way you see it should be, but will you trust him and will you allow God just to continue being in control, because he is in control? And just as he will allow you to tell you, to share with him exactly what you feel and how you think things should be, but in that process as well, allow him to show you or to open your eyes so that you can see what he is doing in your life and in your situation. just be there and allow him to just be in control, because he is still in control. Allow him to walk on the road with you, because only Jesus can.